Morning. We're going to put the dash back together. Changed out the ignition switch and the lock assembly because I only had one key and it was getting tired. I was afraid we'd be at the races and it would break off and that would be the end of it. So, just getting it all back together now. I think we'll start out with the directional light assembly and plug all that back in. By the way, this is the first time I've done a solo video, so kind of bear with me. And these aren't the easiest things to do. A lot of to do. Hopefully I don't miss anything. You're going to have to pull that back off there, I think. That's not going to work. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully. Got one I think I should have plugged in earlier. Kind of a long, drawn-out job. I didn't show the disassembly because it was quite involved. So I ended up having to drill out the two, center punch and drill out the two bolts that hold the whole assembly on. Drill them out and use an easy out to back the bolts out to get this all off because it has to come off in order to get the barrel in there. I've got one wire right here that I've got to hook up beforehand. I've had this apart before, a few years ago. Kind of a pain. Things are getting dry. It's old. It's an 88, so what's going on with this? Wrong orientation, I guess. Right in the world. Very interesting. Well, I don't know what's going on. Could be something I'm not seeing here. Came apart easier than it's going back together. I don't know what the issue is. Well, what might help is a little light. Bring the stuff in, then don't turn it on. Doesn't help much. As you can see, it's quite a cluster of a mess here. Oh yeah, I see where we are. It's got to be right there. It helps to have light. Compensates for bad eyesight. It does. Alright. I think we figured it out. This is basically what I do in my retirement years now, is stuff like this. got into land speed racing some 5 years ago at the advice of my son, which is something I've really enjoyed doing, especially when we can do it all together. It's kind of a handy item. Alright, we gotta get that back in there, which is the light switch. It's a good thing I didn't wait too long to get this back together, because I'd probably forget how it goes back together. I have that tendency. I think it's an age thing or something. I'm sitting here doing this thinking, oh yeah, I wonder if the mics are working. It'd be like a silent movie, which I don't think would be too entertaining. Alright. Some things I've been eliminating that really don't need anymore. Kind of wondering where the stop is on that. Which is a good point. It has a lot to do with the horn button, which I don't use anyway. I don't think we need a horn going down the racetrack, other than the fact that this thing is supposed to be street legal. And it is registered and insured. So I'm guessing about right there. Now this is the real pain here. I have to go up inside there's a 5/16 7mm bolt I gotta tighten up. It's in a limited accessible position. So what I have to do, as soon as I find it, is right here. I have to use a back out a ways. I have to use a mirror in order to see the thing. Which is not the easiest thing to do. I'm on it, but the clamping mechanism has got kind of a curve to it because it's been compressed. The socket doesn't set down all the way. Try to get it somewhat square, parallel, however you want to put that. Yeah. No matter what you do, you're not quite in the right place. I think I got it. Yep, I think. Yep. There we go. Oh yeah. Now, the rest of it isn't that easy. getting all the screws back in and not missing any is the other thing. Whoops. I've been working on these things, I think it's 19 years. Yeah, it's 19 years now I've had this thing. I know about every inch of it, which is a big help to do something like this, because hopefully you remember what you did last time. To do, we got this little filler piece here that goes back in, covers those screws. I try to eliminate, well, I say that. I try to eliminate things when I do this because, for instance, the heater controls and stuff I'm going to delete because they don't even have a heater. There's nothing left there other than it's in here. Okay, I remember that was a countersunk screw, which should be not that one, but not that one. That one. Some of the other things that, there we go, I hope. I've got, besides doing all of this, we're going to move over to the passenger side because I'm relocating AEM ECU, the electric control module, from down on the tunnel up onto the dash, pulled the airbag and eliminated that, built a cover that simulates it. I'm going to put that back in and mount that on there. Plus the module, the control area network, as it's called, module, underneath the hood, up underneath the windshield where it's out of the weather, if anything, plus washing this thing. You get water down in there. Because we've had issues with the EGTs, and in order to change, because we keep spares, it was a pain because I had to pull them through the dash. So if we move the module out there, all we had to do is just unplug them and put a new one in and go from there. It'll be a lot easier when we're actually at the track course. All right, I guess that's square. Now, all I'm going to do is figure out what I did with the other piece. Right. Oh, yeah. Alright, some of this stuff we are not going to back up. For the rear window defogger, I don't like to leave too much flapping in the, so to speak. Yeah, that right there is going to be, but I think the bracket might be still good. The wiring in this thing is getting to the point where it's a little bit on the crispy side. Consequently, it's not the easy stuff to move around inside the dash. That's the thing about an old vehicle, it's the wiring. So, move this down the lane. I think what I'm going to do, get a little boot that goes on this, and I hope that it's not a big deal getting it on, which it might be. Yeah. It's impossible to get back on after it's in there. So we'll try it this way. I don't know if you can see. Let me turn this just a whisker. Or maybe. Oh, there we go. Pardon my face in the camera. Old work. Like I say, I'm learning this. Whatever. I don't know. This may be a waste of time. Try to get that on there like that. Maybe, maybe not. No, let's leave it out. See, we don't need everything back into everywhere. And of course the roll cage piping doesn't help matters any. It kind of hinders everything you want to do, because you can't go down and come back up again. Make connections, so yeah, this is not gonna. One. Help with my fingers when it's big, or my hands or whatever. Get my granddaughter in here, Brooke, to do this. Like this every now and then when she's around. All right. Well, you don't like me, do you? Yeah, it is the right orientation. Sometimes I'm tempted just to get rid of the switches altogether, because really, stuff you're not using, not particularly in this application. And I know that's not going to stay, but we'll give it a try. Alright, now let's see if we can get this to go into place. I think I might have screwed up here. Got B before A, or A before. Well, it just does not like me. Well, let's figure out why I don't want to go. I know that switch has got an issue. Now it's the... There we go. Alright. That lovely thing. Just remember, well, which really doesn't matter. Same. One here, which we'll do first. Now, we'll get that later. What I've got is I'm eliminating the heater controls. We're going to cover those with some... Yeah, if I can tear it. I want all these covered up. I don't want these flapping in the breeze, so to speak. Let's just just some Gorilla. Works real well. I used to use it on front for air, but I bought some regular racing tape last year. Because the biggest problem with any kind of tape, you put it on and you leave it on there for several days. Racing tape or not, out in the sun, if you don't get it off right after you get done, it leaves the adhesive behind, which is kind of a pain when it's on plexiglass or polycarbonate, which is what the headlight covers are on this. Take care of this. Alright, now what I've got is this cover to replace the... Oops, let's turn it over. I've got a little... I'm going to be able to see this anyway. I wanted to put that in there to get rid of the heater controls, because there was no need to... Because... there's no heater. No, all we gotta do is get this in here. This is just some... Basically, it's 1/8" mud material. I use it for a lot of stuff. Works good for a lot of things. Well, maybe a longer screw. Maybe. Or a clip that's out of place, I'd say. Oh, maybe not. No, we got something for an issue. Don't quite know what it is, but I know there's holes in there. Oh, I see what's going on. Maybe I do. The problem is with sitting in like get hips. Yeah, gotta take a breather. Yeah. On this side, I've got to put my racing seat in. A 1/4" underneath it going into the OEM holes. But decided that was redundancy, because I was only using the same 4 holes in the bottom of the seat to attach it to the car, which is kind of a waste of time. Get the seat just a little lower, because that's in and out of here for me at 6 feet tall, and at my age, it's a little... I do it okay, but it always helps to make it easier. It's like anything. So that's what I do. I'll relocate it somewhat. It lowers the seat about 1/2 inch, and anything can be as a help. I think I could keep on for another, hopefully 5 years or so doing this. Be nice. All right, we'll get that when we get over there. Well, that's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it'll do. Down on screwdrivers. Okay,